Happy Tuesday, guys. Another week gone by like this. These weeks are flying like this. Time's flying like this. Look where we are. How many years we've been collecting these bloody figures. I want to open up the show not with regret, but I want to know from you guys what's a figure. Let's keep it to figures. Doesn't necessarily have to be Hot Toys, but any figure that you missed and that you feel is unattainable right now, that you wish you would have picked up day one.
I don't know a figure off the top of my head. I'll think about it.
Okay.
But if I may share a comic.
Sure.
So
make it anything. Let's just make it anything.
okay,
Open up
sure.
to anything. It doesn't have to be a figure.
Years ago, I had this Matina Thrawn 1 in 50 Thrawn issue number 1. And I got it for a pretty good deal. Probably could have cracked it and pressed it, cleaned it, and then maybe got a 9.8. And I had it for a while, wasn't sure what to do with it. And then Rainer had a Terminator Hot Toys, the police shootout version. And he had found it at I think it was a pawn store. And I was like, dang, I really want that, but I'm kind of broke. And so it ended up being a really bad trade because when I'd gotten home with the figure, I traded the comic for the figure. The figure was in much worse condition than advertised, and I probably should have asked Rainer for a trade back because it was much worse than he had led on to believe, and obviously not on purpose. Turns out that comic 3 months later went from being a $200 comic to a $1,500 comic in that grade, and it is unattainable now. It's one, because it's a 1 of 50 variant. And then 2, it's the canon first appearance of Grand Admiral Thrawn. Obviously, he became a huge character and is continuing to be a huge character. So there's no way I would ever get that book back again.
For sure. Yeah, for me, it's Tarkin Hot Toys. I wasn't really focusing on what figures to buy. I was just kind of, Bob Tillen with a new channel membership. Yeah, and so by the time I was like, you know what, I'm just going to start focusing on A New Hope. His price was getting higher and higher and higher, and now it's, forget it.
Did you want to go first, John?
Go ahead, go ahead, man.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
So the question was, what feels most unattainable at the moment?
No, so what's a figure that you missed out on day one and you feel is, or anything you feel is unattainable now that you wish you would have picked up back in the day?
Jeez, honestly, I would have said Daredevil, the Red Daredevil, and then I think it was literally you the other day that was like, somebody has one for sale if you want it. And so, otherwise, I was going to say for what feels most unattainable at the moment is that in-art rooted 2-pack Joker.
Wow.
That I'm still waiting for.
Yeah, I know. I haven't gotten an email yet either.
Oh, yeah.
It feels a little unattainable.
Apparently, it keeps getting pushed back from the retailer that you guys got it from. Not for their,
So
not on their fault or anything like that, but yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm kind of
What about
worried
you, John?
it's going to come out when we get it. It's going to be that thing better be pristine. I don't know. For me, Blitzway Ecto 1 with the Ghostbusters.
Ooh,
Yeah, kind of kicked myself now, especially after I watched Adam Savage do the unboxing. That was a beauty.
One's crazy expensive now. Even just the Ghostbusters are ridiculously expensive.
They're doing the other one from the new movie, but
Yeah.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. It's battle damage, and it's not the same. Man.
I don't even know where you'd put it. It's just huge.
Oh, you make space for stuff like that.
You make space.
Oh, it's the size of a fridge, though. The thing is huge.
Bigger than the Batmobile?
Oh, much. It's the Batmobile is a 1 or 2 seater. This is a 6-seater.
Yeah, it dwarfs it.
Yeah,
Really?
it's fucking huge. King Zach had one, and whenever he'd post it, I'd be like, bro, that's a whole room to display that. Not even a wing. It's a room, bro.
I try to go back and get that if I could. I think Big Bad Toy Store had one for $3K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
They kind of scalp on
I
there,
can't
but
pay that much on over
insane.
retail.
There you go.
Good question.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there. We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought in the doll collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
Shall we lock in the auxiliary power?
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm John.
And I'm Ben.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right. We want to thank you guys for joining us live. Or if you're catching us on the replay, wherever you're listening to us, you're a bunch of angels. Thank you.
Look at these angels in the chat. We got Ninja Squirrel, Toy Mafia, Tukatri, Bob Dylan. Give me those beautiful duck lips. Lane, the Legend Kramer. Vane21, congrats Dean on the punchline. Rafe, Dante's Boneyard, Toy Cartel, Pablo Meza, JMax77, John Ortiz, Universal Key, Bobby Dylan. I'm tuning in for John's Rage, Mr. Mom's Collectibles, 12-inch Moose Stream, Ninja Squirrel. I beat Toy Mafia to first comment. Wow, only took me or anyone else 4 to 5 years. You'll love to see it. Jason Nelson, Zealot Sorcerer. I can't remember what third party made that. I remember he'd looked for that for years. I don't know if he ever actually found one. Toy Mafia. Also, Thor Gaming 166. Here goes Bob Dylan being the absolute best again. Rob Barnes, Luis Mendoza. Do you have your Superman against a wall to prevent leaning, John?
What? Of course not.
Tukatri. We also have Michael Mann, David Jones, Gary Hicks, Jazzy, and Hugh in the chat. There is not a lot to talk about today. I won't lie to you. But we're going to make the best of it, and we're going to have plenty of goofs, gaffs.
I mean, I haven't told you anything about Vegas yet.
Listen,
that could be a dark hole.
We could go to sleep early tonight, guys.
Dark hole.
I don't want to know about Ben's dark hole.
Did you put 10,000 on black? Like
Everybody tuned out.
Yeah, there you go. I'm excited though. Yeah, we're gonna hear about Ben's Coming to America story. But Dean, before we get into all the excitement, all the laughs, all the gaffs, all the goofs, we have a very special segment that we kick off all the best episodes.
Yeah, y'all ready?
Yes.
It's new this week.
Yeah. What'd you get new this week?
Jesus.
I'm just really excited for mine.
Never heard that much excitement.
My Prime 1/3 scale punchline statue. And my God, what a statue. There is no quality lost from prototype to statue. I was kind of worried about it, because we collect Hot Toys. So it's like, well, if it's 80% of what we see, it's acceptable. This is like 99.9%. I mean, it is spot on. I got number 48 of 500, so nice and low. These are the alternate head sculpts. It comes with 4 and 3 stands for each additional head sculpt, which is nice. Or I guess they're called portraits in this case.
Yeah, right, Dean.
Yeah, I think on our 3rd scale Guts, he has additional head sculpts, but not enough stands. So I was expecting that too. I was like, I'm just gonna have to have a couple in the box, but no, it's got 3 stands for the head sculpt. So, but I bought it specifically for this one head sculpt. I had to get the DX for this, so I did, and so it was like no question which portrait I was gonna use. So.
Is that the one that's displayed right now? Dean?
Yeah, biting
nice.
her lip, dude. It's
nice.
Sexy, guys. It's sexy.
I like it.
It's like a great statue. Lots of little subtle details in the base. The base is huge. I actually have my comics displayed in front of it because it's such a tall statue. They can't really see the base, but this statue is supposed to be paired with another Joker statue, so you're not really supposed to see the base anyway. So,
interesting.
Yeah, I just put my graded comics in front of it. So, yeah, it's fantastic. I was shocked at how great it turned out. I'm in love. So.
I know you were excited for it, but did you wait longer for it than you expected still? Or did it felt like it came faster than I thought you'd set the expectation for me? But.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
I think she was slated for May of this year or April, but she started shipping at the very beginning of March. And or no, some people were getting them at the beginning of March, so they shipped even before that. And so I sent Prime One a message. I was like, "Hey, is this in stock, ready to go?" Because I still owed a few months on it. And they're like, "Yeah, it's in stock." So I was like, "Charge me whatever I owe and send it my way." But I paid for the cheapest shipping, which is freight, which they just put it on a boat, and as soon as the boat's full, then it leaves the port. So you could be waiting a week, you could be waiting 3 months. It's kind of up in the air. So I ended up waiting about a month and a half. Oh, so we got a...
Yeah, go ahead. I'll address that in a second.
Yeah, so I ended up waiting about a month and a half for it to hit the ports, and then it only took like 2 or 3 days from the ports to my house. So
nice.
Yeah,
I like all those portraits.
Oh yeah. I mean, it really is hard to choose which one, but like, I bought it specifically for the lid biting one. So like, but the scowl, the one on the left here,
bro, that's my favorite one.
Good one. So I have that one on my desk so I could stare at her and have her be mean to me. But I kind of like that. So.
Spit in your mouth. So there was a beautiful moment that happened. In addition to Bob Dylan becoming a member, he gifted 5 CW memberships to Universal Key, Badfish, Big Dog Pound 1, Tukatri, and to Coolio the Great and Powerful. So thank you, Bob Dylan.
Nice.
Again, StreamYard doesn't let us know
angel.
when that happens. Absolutely. StreamYard doesn't let us know when that happens. So glad that we were able to catch it live, because I think we left you hanging the other day.
Thank you, because I was looking at the chat. I was like, I don't see anything over here. That makes sense.
Bob Dylan's a sweet angel.
Paul did that. Paul Schreiber did that too on Club the other day.
Wow!
Yeah,
look at that.
Nice.
I love the membership.
You guys are
parties.
awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Now, Dean, congratulations. That's I know you've been wanting this one for a while. You've been paying it, for a while, and I'm glad that nothing crazy happened during shipping.
Oh no!
Now,
Dude, Fernum was fucking jinxed me at the beginning of the boxing.
Did.
I hadn't even cracked the seal yet. He's like, "What if it's broken?" I was like, "Why would you say that? Why? I know we're all thinking it, but you don't put it out there."
I hate to see it.
But no breaks. It's nice and perfect, so I'm happy.
Yeah, love to see it. Now, Ben, you came to America and you had a souvenir. So tell us a little bit about this Predator that you got here.
Yeah, so this thing is 9 inches tall, which is at least 6 inches bigger than anybody ever needs. And it is super heavy, boys. I'm telling you, like, it's basically made of reconstructed metal art. So, like, that's the whole purpose of this store. It was in Little Caesar's Palace that I saw it at first, but Shauna wanted to go for cake, and it was, like, getting pretty late, and so you got to do cake first. I go back to the store, it's closed. So I'm trying to take, like, pictures through the window and everything. Can't get really any good images, but some of the ones that were out front were, like, life-size, like, bigger than me, going for, like, $18,000 to $21,000. The store is called Califano, so Kalifano. And it's got some really cool pieces in it. Like, through the window, I saw Star Wars pieces and stuff like that. But anyways, gave up on it because I was like, the store's closed and we leave tomorrow. Got through security at the airport onto the other side, and they had one of these stores in the airport in Las Vegas. So I was already past security, so no worries about, heavy weaponry on the plane. But it was really cool. Ended up being a little bit of a pricey boy, but they gave me a discount. And it was a cool, like, souvenir to bring back from Las Vegas that didn't just say Las Vegas on it. So.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
So you said it's pricey. Do you mind if we ask what this?
Yeah, so I got it for $210 American, but that was 40% off. But I thought it was pretty cool. So I like it.
Jesus. I mean, yeah. Here, let me. I thought you were gonna say it was like $30. Like $210, Ben.
That's a weighty boy.
You didn't buy any. That's a Hot Toys.
I know. I liked it more than Hot Toys.
He's gonna put his bike together now.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, that's a 1-to-1. That'll never be remade. Not like a Hot Toy.
1-to-1. He saw it at the airport and he saw it on the street.
This is why you don't share prices, people.
Never
this
say
is
no,
why you
never.
never tell people the price.
Yeah. But if the person whoever made this makes another one, they might not have a spark plug for the shoulder, or
they're all different. So there was
they're
two
all
of them.
different.
They're all handmade. So they're all different, which is really cool.
Congrats, Ben. I'm not gonna.
You should melt down your shelf in the back there and try to
We're
make
the wrong
one yourself.
business. I'm
And
telling
you'll
you.
see why it's so expensive.
I'm telling you, I'm tripling the price of Zach's Wonderland. They're all one of one.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, it's cool. I didn't realize how big. I thought it was like a little thing. I didn't realize it was like.
No, it's.
I mean,
9 inches
that's a
tall.
pretty big thing.
It is basically a 6 scale, basically.
Well, we don't have guns in Canada, so if someone breaks in, he can throw this at them.
Put it in a sock, and you have your own. Your own predator.
Honestly, this thing is pretty freaking heavy, though. Like this, like.
Jesus, there goes the stable.
Damn, that is. Wait, Jesus.
That thing's solid.
How did they let you? I can't bring a damn shampoo bottle.
Hold on a second. You got that on the plane?
Yeah, it was past security. They bubble wrapped it, and I put it in my knapsack.
How the hell did you get that on a plane?
I wonder if
I can't even get shampoo on a plane, let alone fucking.
Right? Like, sir, your water bottle is too big. Wow. Fucking Ben has an axe on the plane.
You know, this world. I'm just tired of this shit.
Yeah, you can't even take nail files, man, and you took a fucking axe.
There's a fucking spark plug and an axe and God knows what inside this
They
thing.
sold it. What can I say?
It looks like a damn Decepticon, Ben.
You're gonna get a knock on the door.
Dude, Ben took a Decepticon on the plane, dude. Equan
didn't
says, how did
check it.
Ben sneak that in his dark hole? Jesus Christ.
Damn, that's a quick one, dude.
Oh my god.
Fastest turnaround on a
says,
meme.
That's a nutcracker. And Draw the Line says TSA passed the vibe check.
They did.
Yeah, they're like, fuck it, we don't care what's going to Canada. Just fucking get out
Wow,
of here.
what a savage.
Daredevil, Jesus Christ, I can't even talk. Ben, you got Punisher. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I've wanted this figure for a long time. This would have been one of those figures, John, that I thought was almost gone, like
For sure.
forever.
Yeah.
And by the way, I thought of one because of another person's comment, but Superman Reeves, Christopher Reeves.
Oh, I have one here for you if you want.
Really? Oh,
Yes, sir.
we might actually have to talk. Like when you're
Ben's
just
gonna
the
have to
man
sell
with all
his
the
Predator.
Sealed. He has never touched oxygen. Sealed.
Wow. Would it break your soul if I displayed it behind
No,
me?
no, please. As long as you're
okay.
paying up, I don't care what you do.
Okay, I'm just saying. So anyways, yeah, so I this came across Facebook Marketplace the other day. I guess the guy was moving into statues. He watches apparently a lot of the 6 scale community, which was cool. So I told him about CW. And his wife was doing all the selling because I guess she lays the hammer. So that's what she told me.
Wow.
I was like, oh, okay. But she was cool. And she got it sold. So I got it for 500 Canadian, which is pretty solid.
That's not bad. That's
most
not
of
bad.
the time I see it in the 700 range.
Yeah.
And my first question obviously was like, is the pleather flaking?
Yeah.
Right, because I'd seen that happen a lot, and it's in amazing condition. It's like no flaking from what I can tell at all.
Nice.
Really good, complete set. So she was just getting it sold. I guess people were trying to talk her down to $300 Canadian on it though.
That's ridiculous. No, that's a
And,
pretty good
yeah.
price. That's not bad.
500 was.
That's a hard one to find. You don't see that
Super
one
hard to
come up
find.
very often.
Yeah. So, anyways, and I know that it is John Bernthal, not Jeremy Benthal.
No,
just
it's
for
Jeremy
anybody
Benthal.
No, it's Jeremy Benthal.
That's canon now.
I'm like convinced it is Jeremy Bendel.
That's a damn. What do they call that, Dean? The
Mandela effect?
Yeah, Mandela effect. There you go. That motherfucker is Jeremy Benthal, bro. I refuse to believe otherwise. So this week was interesting. Jason Nelson in the chat had hit up a bunch of Targets, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this Target all the way across town has this Mandalorian prototype retro 3 3/4, and the card on this one is beautiful. It's like this holographic card on the front, holographic on the back." I'm not usually a collector of the retro stuff, but man, when on these chrome card backs, they look classy AF. And so I drove all the way across town, and there was like 6 of them on the shelf, and by the time I got there, there was none. So I was like, damn it. So the Target employee was really nice. He's like, hey, this one has it in town. It's the one literally right down the street from my house. And I was like, well, that's odd because I know Jason had gone there earlier. He didn't say that there was any there. And I guess they're like not supposed to have set them out yet until Sunday, a few days ago. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll go check the other store. Went there. The guy, Steven, sweet guy, was nice enough to go into the back. And it's funny because they all have like different colors. So like the blue, red, purple, orange, yellow, green. Like each one has a different combination of those colors. And so I was able to pick up a few of these. And yeah, I'm not gonna open them. They just look too nice to even think about opening. But Yeah, really like the art on this one. And then Amazon had a sale. I have the Mezco, the Batman on order, but being that their last Batman took 3 years to come out, and this one is already late, I have zero expectations that I'm going to see that one for a while. So with the figure art sale, it's a $100 figure that was on sale for like $50, and so I picked one up, and it is fucking fantastic. The cape is terrible. I'm already looking into custom capes for it. But the paint, the sculpt, the articulation, the accessories, pretty top shelf. And so it's going to go nicely with my 10th scale Batmobile. So I can't wait to get some photos of that. But yeah, both really nice pickups. And it's nice to have a sort of a high-end Pattinson in the collection, because for the longest time I've just been rocking the NECA one, or the McFarlane one, which is a good figure. But now that the high-end ones are out, it's... nice to upgrade. So yeah, definitely expect some more photos on my Instagram of this figure, especially once I get the cape sorted out.
Nice. Did you get the 6 scale ones? I can't remember. Or were you thinking about it?
So honestly, the InArt one is probably the better one. But their most recent graphic that they put out, the one that we all complained was like too difficult to really understand what was going on. So I don't really know which I would order, to be honest. To be completely honest, I'm leaning towards either the InArt sculpted hair or the Hot Toys regular. Just because I don't really want to deal with the rooted, and I certainly don't want the I think they have like the 2-pack or whatever, the really expensive version of the Batman. So yeah, I haven't ordered one yet. I probably will, but I really need to see more of a, as Marco says, a sample size from InArt before I feel comfortable ordering. Especially for that figure, they've changed it so many times, and it's really not quite clear what they've changed with all the pictures that they give us. So I haven't made a purchase yet. I would say if I had to pick today, if someone's like, you need to pick today, I would probably go with the Hot Toys regular. But yeah,
I got the InArt sculpted on pre-order anyways.
What was? Do you recall what the price on that one was?
Oh, I want to say it was $395.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something
okay.
like that. Yeah.
So that's right about the Hot Toys price too. So yeah, the pricing isn't really that crazy. But for now, this is going to hold me over. It comes with the en masse portrait. It comes with a different chest piece, so you can have the Batarang. It comes with both of his wrist-mounted. What do they call it? The grappling guns. Comes with the adrenaline syringe, and I think that's it. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Handcuffs.
Is this the type of Star Wars card, by the way, that you'd like hang on the wall? Like, do you keep it on the card for something like this, or are you still gonna take it out?
So probably can't see it, but it's back there. You can kind of see it right there. Yeah, I keep these ones on the card. Yeah, they do like the chrome stuff every now and again. I know I think John was collecting the carbonized, which is black series. I still have them, yeah. This is like, I don't really know why. Like, I don't know if this is like a May the 4th thing or whatever, but as soon as I saw this, I was like, holy shit, I didn't know this was coming out, but this may be one of the most beautiful cards I've ever seen. So that's cool, man. I hauled ass across town to try to get one, and I ended up with a few. I ended up ordering a few more online, and they both came today in a what is it, like the paper mailer, and they were destroyed, so I gotta send those back.
That fucking sucks. Who does that?
I have one more coming, then I'm hoping that they ship it in a box, but if not, they're all three
gone.
Who
shipped you that? A person?
Like Target, like Target.com.
Oh, of course. They don't give a shit.
So, yeah, kind of annoying, but worst case, I get my money back. Not a big deal. So let's recap some news here. So we have two bits of news from last week. The first, Hot Toys and Sideshow rather, on April 12th, they did drop their Iron Man D100. I didn't get it. I don't think any of us on the panel did, but I have to say, I have to give Sideshow credit where credit is due. It was not a shit show, and everyone was pretty immediately aware whether they could or could not get it. So I give this to Sideshow. I think, rather than having a free-for-all for 4 hours on the website and crashing the site and making everyone feel like they wasted time to order it, I think this was a much better way to do it. I've seen a lot of people that were upset that felt that they never had a chance to get one, and I certainly understand that. At the end of the day, though, I think it was an overall net positive, right? Not thousands of people didn't waste hundreds of hours to try to order something. It was pretty quick and easy for those that got it. So just wanted to touch base on that. And then, Ben, I know you weren't here last week. You wanted to talk about this, so shout out to Justin's Collection. On Instagram, he had had some photos taken, probably by Ryan Kirkwood, of the transparent Vader sculpt from the release that we talked about last week. So what did you want to chat about on this one?
Honestly, just the reason I highlighted it was a lot of people were saying that this would be a head that most likely would stay in the box. But I was curious to see what it might look like not lit up, because like a lot of the time, you guys know how the batteries are. They don't last very long. So like a lot of the time you can turn this kind of thing on for a picture, kind of like you guys were saying last week. And then you turn it off and it goes back in the box. So I was curious to see if it was going to like look good kind of standing on its own terms. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if it looks that premium, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so I was a little bummed out to see it. So I shared it with you guys because I was curious what you thought, like if you liked it, or again, I don't know if many people will even put it on display now seeing it turned off.
This is I think with this Vader, it's with this accessory, this swap out, a lot of people will keep it in the box, but it is specifically for that light up feature. Whether you're going to take photos, whatever you're going to do, whether you're going to put it on another Vader, whether you're going to buy two, I don't know what you're going to do, but this is specifically to have that as that light up feature. No, I don't think anyone's going to have this on a shelf.
Well, you can get the base that holds both helmets, though, I think.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, the deluxe, it has like a dual
separate
pedestal.
base?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can mount both the portraits on there,
But
so you can have all three on display.
My point being that this is not going to be something that's going to be like... It's not going to be something that people be like... It needs to be accurate to how it was on the screen. Like with the black, it's... I don't want to say gimmick. Gimmick's not the right word, but to get the effect, to get that effect, this is the only way they're going to do it.
Yeah, and they really didn't get that effect, right?
Well,
like
Tukathri said it's a gimmick. That's actually funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I 100% agree with John. Like to do this right, smoky black plastic with the light up skull on the inside, like this is certainly not that, right?
Right. Yeah, because a lot of people say it looks cheap, but if you took a Hot Toys mold without, paint on it, the plastic's gonna look cheap. It's gonna look terrible. But those are, painted and clear gloss or gloss coat, and it looks beautiful. This obviously you can't do that because then you've ruined the effect. So it's just bare plastic, and yeah, it does look cheap. But like John said, you couldn't achieve this any other way.
Totally.
Yeah,
It almost reminds me. I know we talked about this.
Good for a photo.
Yeah, like you're not supposed to have it on.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to have it on in the day. It's specifically for at night when you click the lights on.
Take the pictures,
Yeah. This is what Hasbro did a few years ago, which is an honestly good attempt. It's not good, but like points, credit
for
where
Hasbro,
credit's due.
yeah.
They had the idea. Is probably could have been executed a bit better, but it certainly gets the point across. I would have actually preferred to have seen something like this.
Every
where there's the
release,
skull inside.
Every release, Hot Toys gets one step closer to just transforming into Hasbro. Like Animorphs, it's Hot Toys anamorphing into.
They're like in the middle.
I used to love it when I would compare them, and John's like, "You can't compare them." And now it's like, well, actually,
well, you shouldn't be able to compare them at that price point.
Yeah.
You know what we need, Zach? We need a Zach's Wonderland melted down Vader helmet for the other base when everybody keeps this one in the box, especially if it's got the two prongs.
But this is, in my opinion,
the one that I already made.
Yeah, the one you made. You need to do a reissue.
That's a limited.
You need to do a reissue. 2.0.
No, we don't do that here.
Paint it gold.
This here, in my opinion, is the definitive Vader on the market.
Oh,
that portrait. Oh my God, have mercy.
That's the gabagool right there.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Let's move on to the new news now. Hot Toys did announce the Batman Armory set, and I mean we've known for a long time that this was coming, right? I want to say this was not. This was like we had last year's SDCC that we had seen the Batman Transparent Armory set, and at that time it came with a Bruce Wayne in like a business suit, which you know, a lot of people were pretty excited for. That seems to have morphed to this one. Now, this one comes in at $565, releasing April to September 2024. Lots of interesting things to say about this. Things that I think that could have been done better. I know, John, you always say, like, Hot Toys should innovate. And in a way, I certainly think I like this better than the transforming Black Panther. This, to me, feels like a step in that innovative direction. Now, you do get a lot of accessories. Some are quick to point out that there are definitely accessories missing from this armory. You do also get the bat suit, which is obviously in the armory. Now, the thing that's a bit confusing, which the way I understand it may not be accurate, but it almost seems like the bat suit that's here is a fully articulated figure, right? So you can take it out. It in the last photo that we'll show, there's a blurred out like portrait coming soon, and so you have a full figure, and then you also have sort of like a power pose. So
Correct.
the Bruce Wayne, it's a non-articulated piece. It looks like it may have some soft goods on the shirt, which I really like, because if you didn't have that, you'd have this really weird gap between the neck and the shirt. So I do like that. This is obviously representing his look early in the film. He has the knee brace, which I think is very well done. I just don't know how much I like the Bruce Wayne. And I know John has some very specific things that he wants to talk about. For me, I think where it kind of loses me is the expression. And this is the first time that I've ever felt like a Hot Toys portrait, the eyes, as a result of the parallel moving eye system, I feel like they sunk the eyes in a little bit too deep. They look a bit too inset into the socket there. Maybe that's just me, because I haven't really heard anyone else complain about that. But otherwise, I think this is an interesting set. I know, $565 is a lot of money. Yeah, you're basically getting a diorama, a figure, and then a power pose with some different light up functions. My big concern, which we'll definitely touch on later, is the fact that the DX19 is it's already obsolete. It's still on retailer shelves. It's still on distributor shelves. People are just like, Manny just got it last week, and to have a figure already be made quote unquote obsolete, it's got to be a kick in the balls.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be surprised.
I'm not surprised. Absolutely not.
People in the groups are. They're like, oh my god, I just got my DX19. Hot Toy sucks reissues. Well, now because it's hitting home, Hot Toy sucks.
Well, I think it's not because it's hitting home necessarily. It's because it is, but it's because it's been so soon, right? It's like Chrome Mando all over again, where I just got my Beskar Mando. I paid like an astronomical amount of money to get that here.
$500.
And we'll talk about those dates. I have all those dates for us at the.
And then you get that Chrome.
Discussion of the show. But what do you think about this, guys? Tell me your words.
This was okay. I woke up and I saw this, and I'll tell you right now, I was like, I'm buying it. Day one. I was still groggy. So I was still groggy, right? I was like, wow, this is really cool. But I saw the panned out picture, right? This one. I don't know if it was this one. I think it was a horizontal one. It was panned out. You just saw Bruce with the leg brace. You didn't see the face zoomed in. And I'm like, yes, I think this is great. Then I start digging a little bit, and I start looking at I start laughing when I see that the DX19 was released, and they're doing this one, already a modified suit, because they did this back in the day with the original, what do you call it? Armory. They did the same thing, and people were complaining. So history always repeats itself. But then I started zooming in. I'm like, wow, the musculature looks great. They got the scar on his arm. Wow, this is pretty cool. It's a power pose. They're innovating. I thought this was really innovative. Then you look at that portrait, and my goodness have mercy. That is based on these photos that I'm seeing, that is probably the worst Hot Toys portrait that I've seen in a long time. By far. Up close like this, he looks like he's visited Sylvester Stallone's plastic surgeon. Like,
oh my lord!
Wow, you ever watch the movie Face Off? It looks like someone took his face off and stretched the back over. Ridiculous. This
Yeah.
was ridiculous. I think he was an afterthought, right? Because the other thing I don't appreciate with this set is why aren't they letting you buy the Armory separately? Why am I forced to buy this Bruce Wayne? Like they did the original one. The original one, I didn't have to buy. I think it came with Alfred.
Yeah, there was multiple buying options
Right?
back then. Yeah.
The other thing is, look at the fingers here. They're joined to the arm. There's no separation there. There's no, the sculpting there is half-assed. So I know we have a lot of time till this is done. And I know that they showed a portrait as well that they kept hidden. The mass portrait with the bottom part of the face. Yeah. That's hidden. They haven't showed us that. So still under development. But please, Hot Toys, if you're listening, I will pick this up. But you need to take that portrait back to the drawing board because it's not cutting it. I love the concept of like the statuesque Bruce standing there with the leg, like his legs are well sculpted, the arms crossed, the muscles are all cool, but the portrait's atrocious.
Do you feel John/panel members, and I'm gonna bring it back up in just a second. I gotta get a few more photos added in. Do you guys feel that he's perhaps too buff? Because I genuinely feel like he is fucking
he looks
jacked.
Real broad.
He is not that
a little bit, but again, I wouldn't say that would be
in the movie.
That wouldn't be the I wouldn't. If I had to pick the two, I'd concentrate on the portrait.
The portrait.
I don't really have a huge problem with the portrait. It looks like he just got done working out, which I'm not familiar with the movie, so I don't know if that's accurate. But it's almost like they sculpted him like mid-sentence, like his mouth is moving, like to articulate a word, where it should just be like a
Can you pull up that side by side, Zach?
mouth.
At the time in the film, he's having a relatively intense conversation with Alfred because Alfred's trying to talk him out of going back to being the Batman.
The
and he's
portrait's
like,
right here.
You don't need to give yourself, and like he is a little fatigued because he's getting his leg brace on and like sweating a little bit. And I can see it. Like you're right, it does look like it's very mid conversation.
Yeah, which
I
don't hate it, but again, I'm not a huge fan of this franchise, so I don't know.
What were you gonna say, John?
Don't listen.
I was gonna say I'm looking at the two portraits here. I'm looking at the two representations here, and I think they completely missed the mark.
Let me ask you this, John.
Yeah.
I think the DX19 portrait is really well done.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a step, like the portrait is a step back from the DX19?
For sure.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think it's a step back for sure.
Now, this is the portrait here, which leads me to believe that this is a full figure. The mask likeness is to be revealed. Mm-hmm. And they do also show like photos here of the new and improved suit articulating. So it seems to me like this is going to be a DX19's, a DX12/Armory scenario where you get the Armory figure and it's basically a full figure ready to go.
It is, yeah. You're going to be able to take it off that thing. I'm hoping it's just the photos, and once we get photos like from the actual store secret base, they're gonna come out better. But even so, at this price point, like I'm even shocked. I'm shocked on a few things. I'm shocked that they didn't let us buy that Armory separately. And what's this gonna happen now? Are we gonna get an individual Alfred now, a reissue of an Alfred possibly?
Wow, or a Fox. I will say credit where credit's due. I think the light up effect is incredibly well done. I also think that the dew effect, I thought it was kind of goofy at first, but the more I thought about it, I was like, damn it. Every time you see in the movie, it does have because it's in like where the waterfall is. Mm-hmm. It looks pretty good. Honestly, the dew effect I think is actually really doing it for me. No pun intended, actually.
So for me, like I am a big fan of The Dark Knight. That's one of my favorite movie trilogies of all time. Dark Knight might be my favorite movie of all time. The Dark Knight Rises, I also love. I feel like it doesn't get as much credit as some of the others for obvious reasons. But for this set specifically, I was pretty stoked when this was originally solicited and kind of teased. I think it was San Diego Comic-Con. It was teased with a Bruce in a suit. But to me, I like this much more than that because it's unique. Because I can't think of another figure in my collection that can pull that off, obviously, because it's that kind of power pose sculpted in look, but it looks so realistic still in comparison to the other figures. It would be the only figure in your collection that could pull off that pose, which in itself would make it kind of unique. I agree though, John. I don't like the face. I do find it does look a little plastic surgery, which is odd, considering the DX19 is so new. Like, I'm surprised they didn't just use the same head sculpt. It seems like that would have almost been a perfect time for a reuse. But I can see why people are upset though with how quickly they got this. Again, I feel like I felt that way with the Chrome Mando coming out. At the same time, John, you said, people shouldn't be surprised. I said earlier, I think it's just because it's been so soon. Otherwise, I wouldn't have honestly been that surprised. It has been a really long time, though, since we got an Armory set for a Dark Knight character. And the last one was a little bit underscaled. This one looks like it's scaled a little bit more appropriately. And I think for the body, they did make some adjustments that have been badly needed since even, I think, the DX02. Things like the gloves over the hands, they're now under the cufflink, so you can actually move it a little bit better, free range of movement. And not have your wrist fall out constantly. And there's a couple things that the cape even looks like it lays better. So I still think the DX19 is like a very solid option. I think for most people who recently got that in hand, they're like, this is Batman. That's amazing. To see the one that could be slightly better does suck, but I would say don't trade out if you still really like your current one, because I don't know. A month ago, it was the best Batman in 6 scale you could buy.
It's such bad business, though.
It is absolutely. It absolutely is. And so I personally would not buy this, even in the price range that was lower than I expected.
The price is not bad for what you're getting out of the box. Mm-hmm. The figures and the armory, it's not the worst. But the business wise, that's just, I don't know. I think that's crazy. It's one thing if they put the X19 in it, but to make the improvements,
it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Like, again, we'll talk about the timeline later, but it's like they spent 2 years making the DX19 and then it's obsolete, like, not very soon after the release. I don't know. It just feels, it feels like a bit icky. I guess that's the best way I can describe it.
I just feel like this would have been such a good competitor to go up against InArt with the kind of power pose look. They could have knocked this completely out of the park, and I still think it has potential because I think this is much better than the suited version. The way they did it, it has a lot of potential, but they gotta really tweak that portrait. Please, if they tweak that portrait, I think this is going to be solid.
I also think this should have been the DX number if they were going to have a DX Batman, not make the DX19 the DX line. Like, why not make this a DX release that has all the extra stuff? So if they're planning to package it together, it would at least seem like the more premium set option. But this is just a standard MMS number, so it's strange.
Yeah, they tricked you. They tricked everybody. Order the DX19.
Yeah, I hate to
you don't
see
think they knew about this was coming?
Oh,
Come on.
Of course they did.
Of
course they did.
Come on, guys.
Yeah,
wake up. Been preaching this for what, 2 years already? Come on.
The arms are cool, but
let
I
me
didn't
ask
notice
this,
the fingers.
You will order this if they fix the portrait, right?
And the fingers.
Well, I would order it.
Or the fingers.
I would try to order it, yeah. Well, I'd have to see what it costs to get here to Canada, but I didn't buy no DX19. If I bought the DX19, I'd be losing my mind. I'm over it already. I cleared.
Did you have the Armory, the original one?
I have the original. I would still. The original one's stunning. I don't know what people were saying about that, but the original one, I picked it up with Alfred and Bruce. Mm-hmm. Oh my god!
Pick up another one.
I'd pick up another one because it's a completely different. I'm a Batman guy, right? My whole collection's Batman, so I'd pick up another one because this is the different Armory.
Oh, that's true. It's not a reissue. It's a 2.0.
This is. It's not a.
No,
2.0.
this is a totally.
It's totally different.
He has the Armory that's underneath the river, and then he also has the Armory that's in the Batcave. So
yeah. So I have the Batcave one. This is the one that's in the river.
Yeah, he has the one that the one that was released is the one that comes out from the floor. This one is in the caves.
And what's amazing here to see.
Idea. There you go. Learn something.
What's amazing here to see is if we're gonna get another Blake figure to reenact that scene.
Oh, Robin,
oh boy, opens up a lot of potential.
That one didn't sell very well though. It doesn't go that
There's
much.
There's still one at my local comic store, but it came with the symbol as well, the bat symbol.
I got the 3-pack with the symbol and Gordon, and they did so well in that portrait.
That is actually one of their best figures. The Robin figure. There was a bookstore in San Marcos that was closing down, and they had one, and it was like 80% off, and I was like, I still can't pull the trigger.
I think they
Biggest
should get
regret, bro.
their Lucius out. I think right now is a good time to get
hell
Lucius
yeah.
out. Another to get but do a different rendition. Don't do the same. The cop. Don't give us the cop outfit of Blake. And I don't know how you would be able to change Alfred. I don't think you can change Alfred enough.
What about Joker?
Yeah.
What about Joker?
No, we don't need
You
another
think we're gonna
Joker.
get the Nurse Joker?
Nurse Joker, we need. That's
I
what
think we need the Nurse Joker. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave us a purple suit at 3.0.
Oh, I think they would be stupid to do that.
I can see it.
I think they would be to waste the money now to do that. Over it.
People still haven't, like, I'm still waiting for my Joker. I haven't even paid for it yet. Like, at this point, I could cancel and just put a pre-order in and a cheaper one if it was better.
If that's a big
if it was better, yeah, of course.
I can't be confident.
I'm not saying I expect that it would be because I got those on order. But
I wouldn't be able to be confident that it would be better after seeing this. Unfortunately, this release.
Yeah, that's fair. That's valid.
Let's move on because we will continue this conversation here in a bit. Gambit. This is by Mondo Toys, continuing their animated X-Men series. 215 release on this one, and it is a timed release on April 18th at 12 noon Central Standard Time through April 25th. Again, 11:59 a.m. Central Standard Time. I like, excuse me, I like where this line is going. I think that they continue to get deeper into this line, and I think at some point it's going to get a critical mass where a lot of people are going to be very, very interested in them. And the way that Mondo does things, they will be very expensive trying to track them down, right? They don't do a lot of reissues. They don't do a lot of remakes. They don't do a lot of 2.0s. I say that, and then they also did the Batman animated series stuff, but generally speaking, they don't. So I know they have Mysterio out, the Wolverine, I think it was Rogue maybe, or Jubilee, I think. So they're certainly building a line for themselves with this anime, but yeah, this looks pretty good. I personally wouldn't be interested, but I think the cell shading is done very well. I think the portraits are done great. The effects look fantastic, and again, if you're remotely interested in this stuff, I would pick it up because, again, this shit sells out, and Mondo stuff gets crazy expensive when it sells out. So I would, if you're interested, I would certainly pick one up.
Yep. I like the card effects, personally.
Yeah, these are sweet if you like that animated style. I think at a distance on the shelf, if you had them on there, even if they're not, a traditional, 6-scale body, I think they look cool on the shelf. They might stand out a little, but I mean, if you wanted a Gambit on your X-Men shelf, just throw them in there. Actually, I'm thinking about that. I would look goofy as shit. Don't do that. But Gambit is one of those characters. People love Gambit, dude. I mean, any Gambit figure that I've ever seen has usually sold out very quickly, whether it's a Marvel Legends or who was the third-party one? People love that figure.
Oh, the Cajun car dealer.
Yeah, the Cajun car dealer. So this is, it's got the aesthetic of the 80s. I mean, literally ripped from the screen. So this is cool. If you're even slightly interested in Gambit, I say go for it.
Yeah, John, did you want to give it another take, or you feel?
For me, I'm not a big X-Men guy, but I do like the effect with Mystique and the card effects there. The ones there where it looks like the cards are being shuffled.
Yeah,
I think that's really sweet.
There's definitely some deep cuts here. I mean, I love the fact that you get 3 or 4 head sculpts, I think, technically, for $225. I think that price tag is very reasonable. I think it's cool that they have the Days of Future Past head sculpt there with the Mystique split. I think that's an interesting deep cut that they threw in. I was a huge X-Men fan as a kid, and I know if Marco was here, he'd be saying he was a huge fan and isn't going to get this, which blows me away because for me, I'm having a really hard time not getting it. I think my biggest deterrent is where would I put it? I don't think that for me, I would want to put it with my other MMS lines or real life looking characters. But I think if they had their own display with some cool lighting, especially once they develop the line out a little bit, I think it could be really cool. If they did things like a Bishop and Apocalypse, I want to see a Rogue from them. I'd like to see a Storm from them. There's so many that I think that they can make really, really well. So I skipped on the Wolverine, but I think it was still available on Mondo Toys last time I looked. I know our buddy Sean Usby has that one, and he says it's fantastic. Now, I know that's his favorite character, so he's probably biased, but still, they look fantastic. My only concern would be similar to the 7-inch animated Batman series that I have. The Mondo Batman toys are kind of the same. The paint wears on my little guys pretty badly. If you bend the seams, bend the joints all that much, you'll start to see paint wearing over time, which is a little bit annoying. But yeah, I think this is a great pickup. You did mention reissues, Zach. So somebody commented on my YouTube channel today that reissues happen all the time. And when I started thinking about it a little bit more, they do happen quite a bit. They happen, like you said, with the Batman line. They've happened a little bit with the He-Man line. And so I wouldn't be... and even with Wolverine, they had 2 different versions of the Wolverine, but you could still pick up that figure. So it wouldn't totally surprise me to see reissues down the line, even if these sell out and go to a higher price. But if you love them, I wouldn't bank on it necessarily either, because if they decide not to, you're out of luck.
You know what? I hate this company now. Just kidding. This is the Storm Studio Apocalypse. This one comes out 2/28 Q4 2023. This is Oscar Isaac from X-Men Apocalypse, I think is what it's called.
That's right.
The things that I don't like about this figure. Okay, the things that I don't like about this figure, I think are genuine traits of the actual design from the film, so I can't really fault them for that. In fact, I'm gonna double check because I did not do my homework today. Today was a wild day. To be completely honest, I was almost at the point of canceling the show. Yeah, I mean, this certainly does look like what's in the movie. I think it certainly could be a little bit more blue. It looks very gray. Here, I'll pull up what I'm looking at here. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I struggle to really... I mean, it looks bad. I struggle to really think, like, who they're making this for, because as far as I recall from this film... There's a Toys era Magneto, which is very, very hard to find and very expensive. And maybe the silver guy, I'm forgetting his name right now, the dude that can run really fast. Someone save me here. And I think that's it for figures. Quicksilver, there you go. Yeah. He is a fast silver, there you go. I just don't know who's like clamoring for this, and then they tease like the full... What are these? The Horsemen of Apocalypse, and it's just like, I mean, like, but why? I don't even know that this was really that well received of a film. Like,
I don't think it was.
Bro,
I mean, I don't think this is a terrible figure.
Each one says Ivan Ooze. That's who it reminds me
from Power Rangers.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's a good bro, go back. That picture right there.
Do you think the portrait's that bad?
Tell me this doesn't look like King Koopa from the movie we just watched.
Bro.
It's the same fucking guy.
Jason Nelson says they also made a Psylocke.
Does the portrait look that bad?
I don't think it looks bad because this company has done bad. I think it looks bad because the design of the film is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the company got the look of the character pretty
good. I think it's down to rights. It's just a bad design. That's
from the film. Yeah, from the film. Yeah.
It's
like they didn't even try to not make this look like Oscar Isaac. Like, not even a little bit.
It looks like him. It looks
Bro,
straight.
if nobody told me that was Oscar Isaac, I never would have guessed. What the fuck is that?
I still see Oscar in there, though. I still see him in there.
I do. That's all I can
movie
see.
Is what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's all I can see, bro.
And then you can't see it here.
This movie had such interesting premise too, but I could not watch this film. It was terrible.
It was so bad.
So
especially
I will say,
after
I like
how
the
good
base,
Days
though.
of Future Past was.
Bro.
Days of Future Past was fucking incredible. And First Class. First Class was really good too.
Yes,
this base is cool though.
I was sick one day.
It is
and
really
I was
cool.
literally bedridden. I was like not leaving my bed, and I was like, "What am I gonna do all day?" I was like, "You know what? I never watched the reboot or the retelling of the X-Men franchise, so I started with First Class. Then I watched what's the other one?
Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past, and I was like, okay, these movies are pretty decent. Like, I'm liking these a lot. And then I got to this one, and I was like, this is fucking so bad. This is not a good movie. It's objectively terrible.
Awesome.
Maybe some cool moments, but it's not enough to carry the movie. This telling of Apocalypse, terrible.
Yeah.
Was such a looming presence on comic panels and toys. You know, again, I'm not a big X-Men guy, but I'm familiar enough. Like I know when I see him, and I was just like, this ain't it. This is just bad.
But I don't think that this really highlights the strength of third party, right? Like there are certainly third party figures that come out, and there's like no first party figures like the Red Dead stuff. But those are characters like Arthur Morgan that can stand on their own, right?
Right.
This was very much an ensemble film, and so being that there's no Hot Toys or Sideshow, there's just like really old, very expensive third party stuff to go with this. It's like you're really not, like, unless you plan to really like dig deep into this line, you know, Magneto, Quicksilver.
It looks like they're going to.
But is that like, that's not the strength of this film, these 5 characters, right? Like the other X characters are the like kind of where I would start.
But when you think about when people make figures from movies, it's always the good guys. If they're gonna do a whole fucking lineup of bad guys, I mean, that's pretty cool.
That's true.
I don't know.
And
For
I mean,
$1,000 though?
He's a world.
Absolutely not.
He's also a world-ending character, right? So even if you didn't love the movie, it's still kind of cool to have that scale or like level of character in your collection.
Franchise ending too.
Jesus Christ.
But I always thought he looked like Oscar Isaac.
Damn, John, that was a good joke. That was awesome, dude.
Oscar Isaac isn't a huge guy, so I always thought he kind of looked small on this movie as well, which for Apocalypse seemed a little odd. I thought that they would do a little more with camera tricks and make him still look big, but yeah, not so much.
I almost want to watch this movie just to like pick it apart.
Make it movie of the week.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll watch it again.
By the way, listener movie of the week is coming. We know what our first listener movie of the week pick will be, and we'll talk about it at the end of the show. So there's that. I actually do like the handhold.
That looks like a grandma a little bit more than Oscar Isaac, though, on the left. Like if a grandma does her makeup.
Honestly, this portrait on the left doesn't look bad.
Oh, I think it's ripped right from the screen.
Yeah, that's actually not bad at all.
Yeah.
It's just a bad design.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like the base.
I don't hate
the
it.
base is worth it, in my opinion. I love that base.
Yeah, what is this?
The base is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, at $228, this isn't bad. Although, to be honest, I don't have that much experience with Storm Studio. I want to say I heard somewhere it's a different third-party company that, like these companies, when they're doing different projects, they'll kind of make like fake companies so they don't get in
Mars
trouble.
Toys,
I don't know. That's what I've heard. Yeah.
What are those 2 pieces in the center? They look like his socks or something. Like what the heck are those things?
I think it's just like tabards.
Sticks.
Oh. Socks.
Oh, those things. Oh, I'm sorry. I think it's
He picked up some sticks he found on the ground.
I think it's
I'm like, what the hell is that?
He's like, oh, these are cool. I'm gonna take them
I
home.
hate to see it.
Here's what's cool. Toys Era, The Last Father. They updated the head sculpt. He no longer looks like a Cro-Magnum. This looks fucking awesome.
Really?
I will admit, I roasted this portrait a lot, and Toys Era definitely delivered. I think if you're going for Joel,
yeah,
I think if you're going for Joel, I got to give it to him.
It looks good here. Yeah.
And you got to imagine, like, I think this is going to have some legs on the aftermarket, right? People are going to be picking these up for. Well, I guess you couldn't use it for your Mando because the Mando has a neck. No, but you could pop off if you have the second Mando. I think you could just pop the helmet off, right? Maybe this could have some legs, or even third-party companies that recast this might be an option if you don't want to get the Chrome Beskar. But no, I got to say honestly, the update to the portrait. They also showed some of the looks at the accessories. Apparently wooden, which I don't believe that. And they also say sheepskin leather and die-cast. If it is wood, sheepskin leather, and die-cast, this might be a front-runner for third-party figure of the year. But until such a time as that is confirmed, I would be cautiously optimistic. But the accessories, the weathering looks fantastic. I think that they've really done a complete 180. Or as John would say about a portrait, a complete 360
so
of
how,
the whole portrait.
Exactly, but how did it's like Jam said there. He said it right. How is a third-party company doing this, and then we're getting that
now,
complaint?
I will say...
Don't say it.
Toys Era Proto to Final, I think, is a bit less than Hot Toys Proto to Final in terms of the quality loss. But damn, this is a good-looking portrait. Mm-hmm. This feels like shrink ray, ripped right off the screen, right? At least in my opinion.
I don't know about that.
It does.
He
it
looks
does.
pretty busted
He
in
looks-
the show.
He looks good.
You haven't seen the show. That's the thing.
You haven't watched the show, Dean?
No.
He's the biggest. He's the
You
biggest
should
The Last
watch
of
it,
Us
Dean.
2 fan
You'd
that I
like
know.
it.
He hasn't even watched the show.
The Last of Us is that's
His
probably
favorite game.
That's probably the best thing I've seen on screen this year, besides Interstellar.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
I liked it too, Dean. You'd like it.
Let's move on here. Carnage. Blogger picks.
Let's not move on.
Oh, we can go back.
No, I'm saying you think this. I was gonna say skip it, but that was the joke.
There you
That's
go.
okay.
You know, I heard a lot of things about the Venom when it came out, and then a lot of those things kind of went away, and I didn't hear a lot about it. So I don't know. Maybe Hot Toys figured it out with the material in this one. I don't know. I think the bus is really cool. The Venom Let There Be Carnage bus with the half Venom face. I think that looks really good. And this motherfucker is huge.
Yeah,
massive. Look how static that Venom body though is though.
Yeah, it looks goofy as shit.
That
So I
bust
wake
is
up in the morning.
The bust is incredible. But
Wow.
do you remember how we were discussing about business? They make you get the Carnage to get the bust though. That's a little.
That's some bullshit.
It's a little.
That's
but
some
the bust,
bullshit.
You can't take away from the bust. The bust is stunning.
That bus made
Well,
me
at least they didn't come out with another Venom. It was just, hey.
I think they did, didn't they?
They did. They
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
for
they
this
gave you
film.
they gave the Venom that I got, which was the 1.0, and then they came out with a Venom 2.0, like the Chrome Mando situation.
Holy
Did
man.
they
Not that much
really?
longer after
God,
that came with the head sculpt,
All right,
and it was like, are you
That's
kidding me?
3 for 3
Scratch
today,
that
Ben.
then. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
I was
fuck.
pretty pissed. Yeah, I've had bad luck.
Yeah, this. I mean, Venom is a huge figure, so this is gonna be even fucking larger. I kind of like. I don't even know where you could display it, like, in terms of putting it on a shelf. Like, it's gonna have to be all like hunched over and goofy looking, unless you had, I guess, like those.
Unless
big
you have
mod
Zach's
cases.
Wonderland Detolf Risers, baby. In stock soon.
This bust
sorry.
is the bust is worth it.
I need someone to test those. Let me know if you want to be the guy.
Yeah, it looks cool, but DJ in the chat said mid-figure for a garbage movie. I'm kind of right there with him. It's if I never saw that movie ever again, I'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, there's that. You know what is fine though? Our friends over at 16 Corner, $10 off your first purchase on 16 Kit. Sorry, using code CW10. Again, that's CW10. $10 off your first purchase with 16 Kit. Off the racks collectibles as well. $15 off your $100 purchase with code CW. That is any purchase you make over $100, 15 off right off the rip, and that applies to pre-orders and in stock items. For pre-orders, they will. You will have that taken off of the final payment. So thank you guys for the support. We don't get any kickbacks from that, but hopefully it'll put a little extra money in your pocket. And yeah, Ben, you went to America. You went to the land of the free, the home of the brave.
I did.
I have some photos here that we can share, but really, I just want to know what your thoughts were of our country. I can bring up the photos whenever you're ready. We can have them up all the time.
Sure.
This is your oyster right now, Ben. I just want to know how it went, because you were supposed to come to Texas, and obviously some circumstances happened, and you went to Las Vegas
Instead. We ended up still spending significantly less money to go to Vegas than we would have with Dallas. So
yeah, of course.
In that sense, it was a good choice. I was a little nervous, not gonna lie, when I first got on the plane, because you'd messaged me, I think, like the night before, to be like, hey, I just want everything to be okay. Like, don't get scammed by anybody. Like, just be cautious of who you talk to and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, fuck. I'm like, maybe I will get scammed. Maybe I did. I paid $200
Ben paid
for the
$200
Predator.
for the metal
Oh
thing.
God, it happened.
They got you, Ben.
This occurred to me. But no, it was good. It was Shauna's first flight ever, which was really cool. So she got to sit at the window. She got a little nervous on the takeoff and on the landing, but otherwise was golden. And then we stayed at the Hilton World's Resort, which is a brand new hotel in Las Vegas. Really nice, really new inside. From what I noticed, like when I was walking the strip later in the week, it feels like it lacks the character that some of the others have, like the Caesar's Palace and some of those like really funky hotels. This just feels like a really new super hotel. But it was cool. We got up on the 53rd floor. I told the front desk guy that Sean and I just got engaged, even though we got engaged 2 years ago. So they upgraded our room for free, which was cool. So
nasty boy. The real scam was Ben.
Trick. Right. So
wow, you step your foot across border, you become an ass. You're supposed to be Canadian.
You're right.
How dare you, Ben?
And then, Fad Gadget says, I've had the pleasure of visiting USA on 4 occasions. It's a beautiful country, only let down by the...
Fad, you better watch what that "the" is, my friend. Better watch what the "the" is, Fad.
Babbling president.
It was a cool place. Anyways, we walked the strip a ton. The Hershey's chocolate store was by far one of my favorite places. I ate a lot of chocolate in those 6 days. I'm not gonna lie. Wow. I kept eating it in the bed, which was a great choice.
Wow.
I watched Starship Troopers, by the way, which I hadn't seen in a while, while in the hotel bed. Great movie.
Movie of the week. But,
I don't think I was on the channel quite yet then. I don't think it was.
Oh, there you go.
And then Shake Shack, I can't eat gluten, unfortunately, so I was able to eat here. And Shake Shack, by the way, way better than In-N-Out Burger. Everybody told me like In-N-Out Burger was so good, and I'm like, not even close. Like, this was fantastic. I think we ate here 4 times. We also did the roller coaster up on the hotel. Which was one of the roughest roller coasters I've ever been on. We got the day pass. I only got to go twice, and I was getting like whiplash and like craziness. Damn. So I'm also getting old, which doesn't help.
Ben has CDE, bro.
But a lot of the collectors in the community told me I needed to try and get to a couple different toy stores. So one was on Brad's Toys on Windmill Way, which I didn't make it to because it was about 30 minutes of like a cab ride there, which was a little too rich for my blood for this trip. But I did make it down to this store, which was Toy Shack. DJ says, "Did you eat chocolate starfish in the bed?"
Jesus Christ!
I plead the fifth.
Oh wow!
Wow, he goes to America. He gets our rights and everything.
Yeah,
You'd love to see it.
What the fuck?
I got it figured out.
There you go.
Which was cool. I also made the mistake of buying weed on the strip.
Is weed legal in Las Vegas?
So it's legal there. You're not supposed to smoke it out in public, but the stores on the strip, I realized after I'd bought it and smoked it that it said like on the sign that they weren't legally authorized to sell marijuana. And I looked at the packaging and I was like, I wondered why this stuff didn't get me like very stoned for the trip. It was like less than 0.3% THC in this stuff. So I was basically smoking just like devil's lettuce that had no devil.
Got scammed again.
Got scammed again.
Damn, two scams.
Right? But the first night we were there, we when we got out of the hotel room and went downstairs, there were these 2 guys smoking this really good stuff that I was like, hey, like, can you tell me where you got that from?
Hey, little buddy, can you tell me where? Can you spot me a little dime there, buddy?
And they were like, we brought it.
Excuse me, good sir. May I have
your Canadian friend?
Bought your marijuana from,
buddy.
They're like listening to Because I Got High, and Ben walks up.
I could just imagine. What you want, a cracker?
Whoa! Jesus!
What the?
Whoa!
I could say that because
Jesus Christ!
I don't think you can say that. You're making a lot of assumptions there.
They were.
Oh my God! No way!
So they were 2 dudes from Colorado. Apparently, that's where they got this stuff from. And so they were like, "Do you want a hit of it?" And so I took it, and then Shauna did too. And then we walked across the street.
Ben was like twitching and shit.
Shauna's like,
it was in Ant-Man's multiverse for a second.
Dude, Ben almost got beat up by Kang the Conqueror, dude.
Wow.
Too soon. Wow.
You can't say that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Too soon.
Hold on a second, I hear Marvel coming.
Jesus Christ. Diamond Dame, baby.
Shauna turns to me. She's like, hey, did we just smoke that like random dude's weed? And I was like, yeah, I guess, eh? And she's like, yeah, it's our first night in Vegas. Like, what the hell? Ended up being the best weed we smoked for the week, though. And it was
Jesus Christ.
Oh, man. So it was awesome.
No shit, because down here they fucking lace that shit with all kinds
dude,
of
you're
stuff.
lucky you didn't fucking get fentanyl, dude. You'd have been fucking...
Yeah, or fucking...
In retrospect, don't take weed from strangers.
Probably
not. Dude,
but it was still fun.
Did you gamble at all?
We gambled $60 American.
What? How much did you win?
That's it. We won nothing. We gave it away.
$60.
We watched the machines eat that shit extremely quickly.
You're not supposed to touch a machine. It's all tables.
No, I can't. I can't play cards. I still have a hard time with fucking Go Fish, guys. I don't have time for that shit.
Oh my god, we gotta go. We gotta go, guys.
Dude, to be fair, Ben, to be fair, you gambled more in Vegas than I did.
Nicolio says Ben's lucky he and Shauna didn't find their way into a true crime documentary coming soon.
No shit.
Yeah, the night before Ben left, I was like, hey, do your research on like common street scams, because like there's some really nasty scams. They'll take a photo of you and then like demand that you pay for it, even though they tell you it's a free photo. Like some real nasty shit. And like they have bouncers that like people that make you pay. Like I just didn't want you to get bamboozled. You're a sweet guy. You're a trusting guy.
That.
And those are all good qualities, but in America it could be a little rough. But,
to be honest, I was surprised how touristy it actually felt. Like it felt
Vegas is very touristy.
It felt extremely like safe because it was just like all tourists and like half naked ladies, and they weren't even really half naked because they were all like covered up in their flower hats and shit. But you were right. Yeah. Every single one of them that I walked past asked if we wanted a picture, and I was like, hell no. So yeah, that was fun.
What do you think is the biggest difference, like interacting with Canadians and interacting with Americans?
Honestly, like, and it sounds funny to say, but like Shauna was like, on our first night we got service, and the girl was perfectly pleasant. She served us our burger, she took our order, like all of the things, but like she didn't ask us like how we were, where we were from, this is your first time, like no like pleasantries whatsoever. It was very much just like, hey, what can I get for you? And Shauna was like, oh, she wasn't as polite as I expected. And I'm like, well, that's not even really impolite.
And make a minimum wage, Ben.
And then slowly
they don't got 15
surely,
in Canada.
Making less than minimum wage. She's surviving on tips.
Slowly but surely, we noticed the only people that clearly said like sorry when bumping into each other in the crowds was also like ended up being Canadian. Because like I felt like I said
sorry.
Nobody said sorry, and I was like, I said sorry like every 10 seconds because half the time you're floating up this river of people, right? And you're like bumping into people.
Someone bumped into you, and you said sorry.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, but you think they would say sorry too? No, they don't say sorry. So
down here we say sorry. But this is not your first time in the U.S.
It's not my first time in the U.S.
You were here a few months ago. You were in California, right?
For sure. I like it there, honestly. It's just that it sucks with the money. Everything that I bought was 1.4%.
It's horrible.
More expensive, 40% higher, right? So everything felt extremely expensive. We ended up getting 2 slushies on the strip in those like big, tall tourist glasses that like scream you're a tourist on Vegas. And
we guess 200.
No, it was $80 Canadian.
$80?
So $50.
I remember
$50 American.
I remember in Oxcon,
Jesus.
Sweet Danny Lee bought all of our drinks, and I guess I don't remember if he bought Mark's drink or if Mark wanted to buy his own drink, whatever. But Mark's drink, they got one of those big touristy margaritas, Dean, on the Riverwalk, was as expensive as all of our drinks combined.
Damn.
Because the tourist one versus like we all got like micheladas or whatever.
Right.
I was like, Mark, how did you spend $50 on a margarita, bro?
That was actually a huge complaint that I had, though, was that I thought the drinks on the strip were just overly too expensive everywhere you went. So, but because it's so easy to buy alcohol in the States, like you can't walk into just a 7-Eleven in Canada and buy like huge things of liquor and stuff. Like, and like Walgreens is on every street in Vegas. And so like they have liquor all over the place.
My apologies, Marco. My apologies. That is correct. You sweet Marco. Hang on. I gotta play something for Marco real quick.
Don't play it.
I have to play it.
I hate that clip.
Hang on. I gotta find it. Did someone delete my clip?
I didn't delete the clip.
A man can only admit when he was wrong.
Oh, did it not
and
play?
ask forgiveness.
It played.
It was played.
Oh, what the hell? It didn't play on my end.
If every bar along the strip was like $2 to $3 drinks, I would have stayed lubricated that whole trip. But because it was so expensive, we would go back to the room at the end of the day and have a couple of drinks. But for the most part, we didn't even drink while we were there because it was just so crazy expensive.
Yeah, Vegas works a little differently than your average American town. You can't normally buy liquor at 7-Eleven and Walgreens. That's specifically a Vegas thing. No.
Oh.
Now you could buy like beer and stuff, but not liquor.
Oh, okay, interesting. Because Walgreens had like a whole liquor section.
Yeah, no, that's like a Vegas thing they do.
Oh,
liquor.
That's pretty cool.
Liquor.
I guess like maybe like a MD 2020, which is like malt liquor, but that's not really the same as
Although
like
I was thinking
hard liquor.
I was thinking about you, Dean, and Zach, because you guys have like concealed carry and stuff, and we don't carry guns here, and I'm like, I wondered how many people in this sea of people had guns that you just.
I bet they're probably not a lot.
Just because they're all tourists, actually, I guess. Now that it's
well,
not only
also
that,
but there are restrictions on concealed carry. Like if the business is 51% of its income from alcohol, you can't carry.
Yeah,
it's like bars. And I don't think you can carry in casinos, to be honest. I'm almost certain that you can't.
That makes me feel better.
I will say, though, if we were hanging out, Ben, and I was carrying, you probably wouldn't know that I was carrying. So it's always good to just be very polite to people. Because you never know who's got that blick on them.
I'm going to ask if you're carrying or if you're just happy to see me. And it better be carrying.
Oh, it'll be both.
Dick on the back of his ass?
Well, it's at 3 o'clock. Yeah. It only reaches to about 1:15, but, you know. It's the shorthand, Dean. Episode 264, newly developed. So, yeah, I mean, the DX19, it's, you know, I don't often feel bad for Sideshow, but you gotta think, like, Sideshow, the retailers, the mom and pop stores that placed orders for these DX19s, the average collector that, you know, that has spent money and may have just gotten this, right? It's got to be a little bit of a kick in the balls to already see this, you know, essentially become obsolete, right? So they, as far as the upgrades go, for the people watching, they have a newly developed bat suit and cowl with movie accurate details. The shape is different. The details are different. They're sharper. On the back of the figure, you know, allegedly this is more accurate. There's some people in the comments saying that it is not. And I have to feel upset for those collectors. They like, I hate when I both like and hate when they do this. Like, I think it's a good thing where they compare them side by side. But being that this is so soon, it really just feels like a kick in the pants. Different textures and movie accurate details here for the chest, for the gauntlets specifically. The gauntlets are much smaller and they tuck into the gloves tuck into the gauntlets rather.
Yeah, even
also
the shoulder pads are different.
Shoulder bells are different. The cape looks like it drapes much better. The elbows and the gauntlets are totally different on the new version. I mean, it's just a kick in the balls. And you know, for this one, I know Ben has mentioned, I think, 2 other figures already. So the DX19 was shown December 2020. This is based on the Justin's Collection first look showcase. It was released on April 2022. So, you know, again, about a little less than 2 years work in progress. And then within a year, we have the new and improved Batman Armory and Bruce Wayne. It reminds me, like Mark Pearson says, flashbacks of the Beskar Mando. It was shown in March 2020, released November 2020, and then the new one was announced 7 months later in June 2021. Certainly not the only times that this has happened. Jedi Luke comes to mind. Ben, you've also mentioned other figures, but as a collector, I mean, how does this make you guys feel? I know we asked the Ox members. We'll read their comments here in a bit, but I think Eric said it best. It's like a kick in the nuts. It's like, you know.
What are you talking about? Kick in the nuts. It's not the first time.
It's not the first time, but it's annoying.
You're sitting there saying, I feel bad for collectors. I don't feel bad for one collector. One, because the collectors that you should be feeling bad for are the ones praising and that keep going back. We've been on this show. We've been on the show talking about this kind of stuff for years. They did it with the last Armory. What do you think this is going to be different this time? They did it with Beskar Mando. It's not going to end. This is just how it is. It's the new. This is how they operate.
It's the new norm.
There's no. I know we have to have a show. We got to talk about it, but this is going to be them. It's bullshit. It's bull. It's dirty. It's you got guys getting the DX19 in hand now, like Manny you mentioned and Ben, and they do this. They're posting the DX19. Oh, innovative. We changed this. We changed that. And in the background, they're already developing this.
Yep.
So you're getting excited about the DX19. Oh, man, Hot Toys is great. They redeveloped the body. They care about me as a collector. As a new collector coming into the hobby, they care about me because they're revisiting it and making it better. Yeah, right. They're already developing this behind the scenes, and it's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah, they're probably developing another one right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is egregious. It'd be one thing if it was like the DX19 put into the Armory.
100%.
It would be it would be like, okay, that's kind of lame because, those people missed out on the Armory. But it's like, no, you sold a whole different product already trying to make it outdated.
Yeah.
It's way, way sleazier.
It was malintent from the beginning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that's starting to suck for me is less that they're willing to do it. It's more along the lines of how they're conditioning us also with pre-orders, right? Like we keep seeing things like blue screens and like the threat that figures are going to go waitlist and you'll never get one. So you buy it and then they release this like a year later. People just finally got their one in hand, and now it's like, seriously, like I might not have FOMO bought that other one because there's a lot of FOMO in the community, right? It just is. Even when we know that reissues are bound to happen eventually, it does feel like it's usually felt like followed by the word eventually. Like it doesn't normally feel like it's this quick. As I said, I had just got my Venom and they did it. I just got my Beskar Mando and they did it. I didn't get the DX19 because I was happy, thankfully, with my DX12 and the mods that I'd done to that one. But still, I heavily thought about this. I think there are benefits to this in the sense of if you really wanted this particular set, at least you could put your DX19 on the Batpod or something along those lines, maybe push that suit a little bit harder than you might have in the past. But it's not really, it's like, that's looking for a benefit in a shitty situation.
Jam says, sorry, just to go quick. Jam says, you look, so us, as in general, look at it like a collector. Look at it like a business. You're going to want to make money and bring more options. So look at examples like McFarlane and how he operates that toy company and the steps he takes to innovate and give back to his customers. This is not looking after your customers. There's two roads you can take. You could take every business needs to make money, but you could take the sleazy road or the road that's going to be a little bit harder, but it's going to be a lot more successful because your customer base is going to believe in you, that you're looking after them. If the customer base wakes up, because there's a lot of the hot toy customer base that's in some sort of like brainwash stigma that it's like anything they do is perfect, everything they do is perfect.
Yeah,
but
I completely agree there with what John said.
This figure or this release is really for two different kinds of people. The people that are completionists that just want any Batman stuff that comes out. Or someone like me who doesn't have a Batman in the collection yet and now has pick of the litter and wants the best version possible. But if I don't already have a Batman in the collection, I'm probably not going to have one. Mm-hmm. So, like, who is this really for?
Well, that's the other thing.
Because you just screwed over everyone else who was going to buy this.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. That's the other thing I was going to say is that, like, just in response to that comment as well, we have so much on our wish list for other figures that we're looking forward to that haven't even been announced yet. And so they're spending their energy on this. Like, yes, it's a business, but they would sell just as much or more of other things that people have been asking for, I would think, than this one, where it's like, yeah, some people will buy it like Dean said, but who is this really for? It seems like such a small collector set that's going to go after this one versus a Namor or like anybody from all these other lines that we've been waiting on. So
yes, we always hear that, like, oh well, they're reissuing this to pay for the next thing, but the next thing is apparently a better version of the reissue. So it's like, what the fuck was the point? It's honestly
literally
insulting.
I think you guys have all made excellent points. I think Ben's point about, like, we don't really know. Like, do you pre-order? Do you wait for a deal? You wait for the remake of the reissue? Like, John's point about McFarlane, like Daddy Todd, you know, he has had continued success by keeping the collector front and center, right? Making good products, good prices, excellent availability. You know, he'll dip his toe into the really expensive high-end shit, like with the the Batwing that he just did. It's a little bit more of a premium product, direct order. But I mean, he's doing it right. Like, none of this HasLab bullshit. None of this. Oh well, this is now the third version of the same character they've made in 2 years. Like, I mean, he's given us a lot of Batman, but they're all totally different figures, totally different comic runs and art styles.
And like very rarely will they. Yeah, but even
still,
at that,
though, man, he's doing like. I mean, it still takes the R&D, right? Like the. Sculpting.
Well, I was gonna say, unlike Legends, which are more expensive for a smaller figure, by the way, all of McFarlane's figures, save for maybe a handful, do not share parts.
Yeah, they're all brand
unique
new
sculpts. Now, if
and
it's the
you get
same
the collector's
character,
card, the stand, hands, accessories, and then when DC is like, no, we can't do guns, he's like, fuck DC, makes a gun accessory pack that is
branded
like
for Spawn.
yeah. Daddy Todd is my favorite company. Every year.
Dude. And it's and keeping it at a $20 price point.
It's like
I mean, come on,
where I live, bro.
This
they're like $35 in Canada.
Yeah, they're crazy here.
He's getting a little greedy.
Well, it's a foreign figure for y'all.
It's an import figure at that point.
Yeah.
Oh,
what's going on, Kryptonian? I just think, it's just not cool. It is what it is. I got no more energy to preach it.
In auxiliary, Eric Mariscal. I don't collect Batman much, but definitely seems like a kick in the nuts. Stephen Percha, better than the week after the DX19 goes waitlist when everyone pays aftermarket for it. Manny the Man Gonzalez, literally double the price tag of the DX19. The DX19 is no slouch. It's a huge improvement over the Armory version I had before. They could have / should have put all that R&D into remaking the Begin suit. For that reason,
100%.
I'm out.
That's an amazing comment.
Gear Bear doesn't bother me. I'm going to pass. Bob Dylan asked after Beskar Mando. This shouldn't come as a surprise. Howard will start pumping your friend right next to you before you realize he pulled out. And
Beskar
then Mitchell
Mando
Bernal
and Venom.
They need to. InArt is starting to tap into their market share. But does this make us like Hot Toys or want to spend more money with them if they're...
Of course.
I don't think so.
Everybody.
I just
Look
want
at
to
you. Hot Toys is the Apple of figures. There's other comments. People will always be. It is. They have the power.
But what I'm saying is, if a company is coming in to tap into your market share, making this, I don't understand how that improves another company.
Even if we don't even talk about InArt, and we just bring up Mars Toys with that Joker alone, I'd be shitting bricks if I was that guy. I'd be shitting bricks.
Yeah, for a fraction of the cost. But I want to go back to Gear Bear's comment right there on the Facebook. Doesn't bother me. I'm going to pass. It should still fucking bother you. I'm going to pass, and it bothers me. This is it's not a problem until it happens to you. So it should definitely bother you now. It's still later.
Well, and it still teaches me you should just buy what you want, not buy what you think might get you value, or don't buy for the wrong reasons. If you really want it, then like it will still sting a little bit. But like I still really like my Beskar Mando, despite my feeling a little burnt on the chrome. Like I made the choice to buy it. I was happy with it until they came out with another one. I'm still happy with it. Now I've got money to buy another figure. Like I don't have to feel like I need to buy the next best version.
Yeah, but
if someone gave you every penny you spent on that Beskar Mando, would you keep it?
What? No, every penny I spent, would I keep the Mando?
Yeah,
I would keep it. Honestly.
You would still keep it?
I would keep it.
I really like mine, honestly,
because that's in the predicament I am. I pay $500 Canadian for that thing, and that was almost
I paid
retail.
$534, I think was. Like
if someone gave me every penny I spent for it, I'd let it go in a heartbeat. Because
but that's where you're at in your collection right now. Like,
But
right?
see,
Like,
but-
you're
because
focusing
it's
more on third scale.
No, because in my opinion, the only selling feature for that set now is the pram.
The little pram, yeah.
The pram. If you gave me the pram with the chrome version,
it's a game over.
So,
right.
But I will say this, because Ben, you said buy what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of the whole goal is I want the best version of that character.
That's
on
true.
my
If
shelf.
that's what you want, yeah.
And it's like that's what I wanted, and now you've effectively sold me a less good version of what you were already making. Why did you do
but only
that?
because we can compare to each other because we're a collector community. But like before I knew you guys, before I knew other collectors, I didn't know a single other person that even collected. So like anybody came over to my movie collection, I still had like the coolest, entertainment setup sort of thing.
I guess you're not wrong.
To that it's not the best out there. but nobody else would. Nobody else would.
Yeah, but who are you collecting for? You? Or
Yeah, but if
I
you
collect for
people come
myself,
here-
so that's my point. I'm still happy with it because for me to show it off, I still am proud of the unit that I ended up purchasing. I was thinking about your question with
fair.
Punisher. I was thinking about your question with Punisher, John, because that figure is from 2017. There's a new Daredevil television show
it's coming
out.
100%.
Guaranteed. Jeremy's going to make his return, and
That's
then we're going to get a
not a
reissue of that
guarantee.
figure.
No,
Not
it was
guaranteed.
announced already.
Was it?
Was it?
already?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
but
like
it's going to be different. I think he's going to be a whole different outfit and everything. So
or at least an upgrade to the paint and stuff like that. But I don't know. I do hear what you're saying though, Dean, because I know I'd say 90% of collectors, they want the best version, and that's what I started with. But I've started to realize that like I still need to be okay with what I have. Yeah. I can't just sell everything and take a loss every time something new comes out.
No, but you can pump the brakes. That's the difference. That's why that's why I'm here. Hold on, Dean, a second. That's why I'm here at least on this show, because to at least say that too, but to say at least the part or I've experienced where it's like, yeah, Hot Toys is screwed. Some piece and some releases over big time, and you can say it comes down to what are your intentions in the hobby, sure, but they've made some moves where it's like, we should be pumping the brakes before we place orders on things, because with stuff like this happening, it's just unacceptable.
And I was just
Sean,
going to make the point. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, let me get these comments real quick. Sean says Hot Toys needs to expand on all the licenses they're sitting on. Where the Terminator, Aliens, Predator, etc. getting burned out on the same old stuff, Marvel, Star Wars, and now Batman. Nope McNope has a question. Nope, go ahead and shoot that question off, and we'll get to it if we can. X-Men exclusives, I agreed, John, who are we collecting for? I would never buy X-Men unless it's my choice, period. Statues and Hot Toys cost too much cash for buying for the hype.
What's going on, Anthony?
Commander Crook, I've had the DX19 since its initial release, and I think the newest announcement is an FU to those who bought the 19.
Sure.
I imagine that there's someone out there who had just ordered the 19 DJ. The one thing is an eventual reissue, which is fine, but if it's an instant reissue or a better version, then that shit doesn't fly with me. Erwin says Hot Toys will never care if you have the most recent version or not. People will jump on buying what they pump out. And that's part of why I feel like I've had some success with Zach's Wonderland. Like, when Beskar Mando when Beskar Mando Jesus Christ, I totally lost my train of thought. When Bo-Katan got that new shoulder pad in season 3, it's like Hot Toys is like, say less, bro. And it's an easy thing, right? Or like when Paz had the little shield, and then Hot Toys made the
same figure with the shield.
the same figure with the little things. It's like, I mean, I could just print that and sell that, or the little shoulder pad, and save people money, and I think a lot of people have enjoyed it. Like, obviously those people may still go and get the Bo-Katan when it comes out, the 2.0, but until then they can save a bunch of money and have that on display. Dean, you had a point that you wanted to make.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ben had the DX12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You saw the DX19 and made the conscious decision, like, I already have one. It's been a decade. I don't need a newest version because I've already done some alterations and made it better. Yep. But there are some collectors who didn't have the DX12, and they're like, "Fuck yes!"
Oh yeah, they've been
wanted
waiting
this
for
Batman, and it was way too
years.
expensive on the aftermarket. I'm getting this
Such
right now. Order it, and then within a couple months. Sorry.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not a slap, by the way. Like, hard stop. I also think it's a slap. I'm just saying, like, for me, I feel like I have slowed down. That's the point of what I was saying was, like, just buy what you really want, because if you buy it, then hopefully you won't have regret if this happens. Whereas if you buy because of FOMO or buy for the wrong reasons, then you will definitely feel extra slap, because if you were going to sell it off, you just lost value on that DX19, like immediately out the door. You can sell that thing for cheaper now, which doesn't feel good. So I've slowed my buying down
retail
for just the things that I'm like, even if they reissue it, like the Punisher, I still feel like I'll be really happy with that one that I got. But that's weird. I don't know.
I'm going to ask you guys for a hot seat. I'm not going to put a timer up. about a minute each. The same question. What? Actually, who wants to go first? Sorry.
I'll go first.
All right. Tell me your biggest kick in the nuts moment as a collector.
Biggest kick in the nuts moment?
Yes.
Oh man.
I guess I have this time.
I don't think I. Oh, you know what? I do have one. Final Fantasy VII Remake was announced, and PlayArts Kai announced that they were making Cloud. It released actually pretty early, but then when the game finally released, like 2 years later, they released a new version of the Cloud, which had better paint, better face sculpt, better everything, and an accurate sword. And I was like, what the fuck? But then if you bought the deluxe edition of the game, it came with the figure, but it came with the first figure. I was like, what the fuck is this? So I had to buy the new version again. It was a pain in the ass.
Dean, I give you 2 points for your troubles. John.
As much as I hate Sean's comment, I can't be mad at him today, and I won't because it's his birthday. So happy birthday, Sean.
Hey, happy birthday, Sean.
I'll let you slide on this one because that is some craziness, and you're crazy, buddy. I still love you, though. Only when you're sleeping. All right, ready?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a purchasing. It could be anything.
Biggest kick in the nuts. You felt like your nuts had been kicked after this.
Cried. I think I cried a little bit.
Oh, wow.
I've told this story before on CW, but this is the
dusting
biggest.
story?
The dusting story.
Oh, you hate
No, there was a dusting story with a statue, but the hot toy. So I used to.
I've heard it.
You know how I collect? In my closet, I had all my hot toy boxes. Everything sealed, beautiful. This is when I lived at home with the parents. I had my bat pod displayed on the ground, and I was moving boxes around. And from the top of the closet, Captain America's box split the bat pod
Captain America.
right down the middle, straight to the garbage. Gonzo. That was my worst collecting hiccup.
John, I give you.
I cried a little.
Give you this.
Sure.
What was the question again? I feel like I've lost track of the question.
Biggest kick in the nuts.
When it comes to collecting.
Yes.
Other than today when you laughed at my $200 recycled metal statue.
Ben, that's the grand prize winner right there, Ben. 3 points.
Wow.
Hurt a little bit.
3 points for Ben. That was a pretty big L, Ben. TBH.
Oh, no.
Oh, Ben.
I like it. I like it for
I think it's cool. It's like I thought it was like $50.
I'm gonna let you hold the weight of it when you come visit me in Canada. You'll change your mind.
Of the statue, or anyways, let's get back here. Let's get back on track. Let's see. Bum, ba, da, bum. I gave you a whole 3 points for that, Ben. John Wick Chapter 2 is what I would share the summary of if I put it in the show sheet. John Wick Chapter 2, retired super assassin John Wick's plan to resume a quiet civilian life are cut short when Italian gangster Santino D'Antonio shows up on his doorstep with a gold marker, compelling him to repay past favors ordered by Winston, the kingpin of secret assassin society, the Continental, to respect the organization's ancient code. Wick reluctantly accepts the assignment to travel to Rome to take out D'Antonio's sister, the ruthless capo atop the Italian Camorra crime syndicate. This movie kind of reminds me of Jurassic Park 2, where they're like, hey, so remember that whole island with dinosaurs? Well, there's actually a second island with dinosaurs. Because in John Wick 1, it's like, hey, the big rule is like, don't do business on the Continental. And they're like, oh, wait, just kidding. There's actually another huge big rule. When you get this coin, you definitely should do the blood oath that you swore to do. A little bit silly, but honestly, I like this film. I think the action is as good, if not better, than the first film. The plot kind of gets kind of weird. You know, the whole, like, he kills the sister, and then the brother, like, puts a hit out for him to tie up the loose ends. And then he violates the rules of the Continental and then gets kind of kicked out of everything at the end. I mean, it's a fun movie. There's a lot that's happening in this film. But I like the plot. I like the coins. We actually got sent by Chronicle Collectibles the prop replica of the coin where you stab with the blood and everything.
Yeah.
We got that from them, and that was pretty cool. That was in their little care package that they
Yeah, I
sent
still
us.
have
So
mine.
always kind of fond of this film for that. But yeah, I mean, it's a good film. It's not. I like Chapter 3 and 1, and the one thing that always takes me out of this movie is this was like around the time that Ruby Rose was like in everything, and she's in this movie, and she's like not famous at all anymore, and it was like it just takes me out a little bit when I see her in the film.
Such a
But
babe, though.
yeah, not gonna lie, Lawrence Fishburne as the Bowery King, a great little part of the movie there. Overall, I think it's okay. It's not my favorite of the films, but I know Bob Dylan really wanted us to review this from the trailer night that we did last night. So Bob Dylan, you get your wish, buddy. What do you think about it, Dean?
Yeah, that's actually why I picked this one, was for Bob, because there was some confusion on what the movie of the week was going to be, so I was like, fuck it, John Wick 2. Yeah, this movie, rewatching it, I was like, oh yeah, that happened in this movie. Because now that it's a 4-part story, this movie is clearly just trying to get to the third movie, and it's just like almost a drag to watch, like, which is saying a lot because it's a John Wick movie. Like, it is exciting and there are cool moments in it, but dear God, like, it's pretty boring. It's like, we want you to kill the Pope, and it's like, well, I'm not gonna do that. And it's like, okay, well, kill my sister instead. And then it's like, oh, it's like this like super dangerous suicide mission. But then like John Wick just fucking like walks into her bathroom like nothing and is like, oh, I'm here now. And she's like, well, I'm not gonna get killed, so fuck you, and kills herself. And then it's almost like he killed the Pope because everybody and their dog just comes after him. It's like, how many fucking henchmen does this bitch have? Like, dear God, like, holy shit. And then he's pissed off that the guy tried to double cross him, so much so that he breaks the assassin code to put a bullet in this man's head, which is probably my favorite part of the movie because that guy was fucking annoying. But yeah, it's just like the other movies are just a little stronger, especially coming off the first one. I don't hate this movie, but it is, to me, so far the worst one. I have not seen 4, so yeah.
Very interesting. I honestly am surprised that that was your take, boys. I actually think that this was my favorite of the 4 films that I've seen so far. And part of that was because I had no idea at the time when I turned it on that they blend from the first movie into the second like immediately. I didn't know that it was a continuation of the story. I thought it was going to be an entirely second like film on its own. So that was really cool. I liked immediately all of the actors that I was seeing out of the gate in the first like 5 minutes. And then I thought it was like a fun like intrigue kind of like type of movie. Like, it was intense. He killed a lot of guys. He was still young, that it felt like every punch really hit, every bullet really hit. Like, it got me excited for sure. I honestly felt bored by the time I got to the third film, because then at that point it was starting to feel a little bit repetitive. When this movie ended and now he can't even go back to the Continental, he's lost all of the services that were available to him, I'm like, okay, it's gonna last like 5 minutes now, which does make the third film exciting. But it made it also feel kind of unrealistic, because in the third film, he dodged more bullets than I've ever seen anybody dodge in my entire life. Whereas the second film, the stakes still felt relatively real. The whole time I was like, holy, he dodged that really well. In the third and fourth film, it feels to me more like it's obvious that he's going to dodge it because he's John Wick, but I don't know, it's not as exciting. So I really liked this film. It got the juices flowing and made me really excited to watch the third, and then I went to the theater for the fourth installment pretty much right away, which was pretty cool. So I will say, I heard today that in the 4 films anyways, John Wick has killed now over 430 people, which is pretty crazy.
Wow.
7.4 out of 10 on IMDb, 89% Rotten Tomatoes. Good cast. Keanu, he does well in these movies. I still think I like the first one a little bit more. But yeah, it's an action flick. What more do you guys said enough?
Got guns, got bullets.
That's it.
Got a
Killing
dog.
400.
That's all you need, bro.
That's a lot.
Got a pencil. Let's move on here, Dean. We have some sweet angels that keep the network going. Can we give some shout outs here, bud?
Yeah, give a quick shout out to the 3 pillars. We got Ian Seavey, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, Equan, Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Gist, Daminator, Joao Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Guns, Figs, Badfish, Toy Cartel, Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Krett, Big Old Fern, Caesar Mariquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomansky, Rick DeGregorio, The Everyday Collector, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ. Damn it, I did it again. Erwin Azucena, The Illustrious Rainer, Alan Morgan, Tukothri Watt, Derek B., Aries Portillo, Mark Randolph, Alvin J., Jazz Carroll, Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Don Maton, Jimmy James, Stephen Percha, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. Bam, 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 bam. Zach forgot.
You hate to see it.
Sorry, I was looking at the private chat because you're blowing that shit up.
You looked up like, ugh.
Thanks, Dean.
Amazing.
The May-June Patreon benefits April should be shipping here in the next week or so. The Question of the Week sticker designed by Manny the Man Gonzalez, and probably one of the most requested stickers we have ever done. The Spooderverse sticker sheet across the Spooderverse. And background done by Dean. Excellent artwork done by a very talented artisan of the CW Empire. So that will be these will both be shipping out in June, just in time for the new Spider-Verse film. This Patreon starts at $5 a month for the digital benefits, $7.50 for stickers sent straight to your door and access to Ox After Dark replay, $15 for the Fix Assistance and the Certified Crispy Certificate, and the $25 What a Guide tier for doubles of all the stickers we send, and the Pog Deluxe set. Whoa. That's out of order. YouTube channel members, we want to thank MojoZ78, Absolute Irwin, LV Avenger 702, OMFG Rick, S-Beam, Andres IP, Daminator, Sam Gist, Thomas Clark, Benjamin Hansen, Crispy, Big Ol' Fern, Cram, Alvin J, OG Fan, Mark Pearson, Ben Thomas, Paul Schreiber, Andrew Gibo, CC3PO, Carlito, CT603, Eddie Mendez, B Chan, Fat Batman, Justin Sports Cards Museum, Philip the Fool, Kinky Sphincter, Universal Key, Eclectic Collector, Tukatri, Single Songwriter, Jake, Zeke, Equan, John the Everyday Collector, DJ, Toy Cartel, KJ Smith, Adrian Aguirre, Knight, Slifer, Baby Boy 562, Steph V, Mike Oxlong, Just Another Friday Night, Noble Young, 1-6-Figure Focus, and Blue Beetle. You can become a member in the Patreon tier for 99 cents or $2.99 if you're in the Peanut Gallery. You get loyalty badges and custom chat emojis. I want to say this week or next we should be adding chat emojis for Small Talk, OFAC, and Club. Thanks to all the people that support the memberships and that do the membership gifting. It does help us out quite a bit. Looking at the network, we have After Dark tomorrow at 10:30. I had a day today, so I'll be talking about that tomorrow. Monday, we have live unboxing. If you want to check out Dean Unbox's Punchline, be sure to check out yesterday's episode. We have Club on Friday, the reissue coming back on Sundays once a month. We'll kind of work with Ben and Marco to get that scheduled. I know everyone's kind of been all over the place. Whoever's typing, for the love of God, please stop. Question of the Week, Brenton's Sunday show. We also have Live and Let Dice coming back May 13th for Season 2. Season 2 is called Calamity. Bricks and Brews once a month on Sunday. OFAC and Small Talk alternating Thursdays. And Pose Wars on a little bit of a hiatus for now, so that may not be coming back for a bit, if ever. We kind of try to keep you guys happy and kind of record the shows that get the engagement. So for that one, I think we're going to table it for now, and we'll bring it back when the need for it arises. But yeah, Sweet Angels here. Definitely a bunch of great group of guys that participate in all this. And we did Ox PD last Saturday. We're alternating with Cowboys here and there, so stay tuned for that. We also may have some different people coming on the shows to do like a guest panel. We're still kind of working out the details on that, but once I have more information, we'll share that. But you may see some new faces on CW from here and there. just to help promote their channels. On TeePublic, we have shirts. I think they're on sale right now, so that's actually not a bad time to buy. But if there's any shirts that you'd like that aren't on the TeePublic, send me a message. We can get them uploaded and spec'd out for you. And that way you can show your support for the network when you go to your local figure store, conventions, etc. Rock some swag there. There's, I think there's the shirts for at least all of our shows that are actively recording. John, can you run the socials for me, please?
Yeah, on Facebook we got Collecting Weekly as well as Collecting Weekly Auxiliary. Instagram at Collecting Weekly _clips, and at The Everyday Collector.
Thank you very much. Shout out times, John. You mentioned it earlier. It is Usby's birthday, and I love Usby. He's a sweet guy, the most positive collector that I know.
Yeah, the most positive guy in the game. Happy birthday.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
He's just such a sweetheart.
57 has never looked so good.
Whoa.
Wowzers. A huge shout out to Sean.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone else have any shout outs to give?
I do. Shout out to Mr. Dean, Austin Nicholas, and Pete from OFAC. On Sunday, we had another awesome episode of Let's Get Nuts on the Ben Thomas Show. Really fun live chat, so if you guys missed it, go check it out on the replay. We're going to be back on Sunday next week, same time, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so keep an eye out because I'll post the link for it. If any of you guys want to jump on, might be a fun time. We usually talk about a little stuff, different stuff than we talk here, so always a fun chat. But yeah, thanks to those boys who jumped on and helped to support.
Absolutely.
And happy birthday, Sean.
Yeah. Yeah. Great show, guys, tonight. Hopefully next week we'll be back at full strength. We missed Marco tonight. He was at some basketball game and it got loud apparently, and he said he couldn't talk. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't really talk that much to begin with, so I don't know why he couldn't be here. But
Wow.
We love him. Just kidding. He's my favorite, and I apologize, Marco. He did buy us those drinks at the Riverwalk. I was mistaken. Toy Cartel, there are hoodie options on the shirts. If you scroll down, it should give you options for like baseball tees, hoodies. I think there's even like crew shirts. So yeah, if you want to support the network, there's all kinds of things. I would say though, buy it when it's on sale because the hoodies do get quite expensive when they're not on sale.
Yeah, and they go on sale like every other week. So.
Yeah, never look. As someone who has a vested interest in you guys buying them at full price, don't buy them at full price. They are not worth full price. Buy them at the cheapest price that you can. We only get like $1, when they're at sale, and like $1.50 when they're not on sale. It's not very much money. Don't buy them full price for sure. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. I think we had a great show. Obviously, very excited to get back to full strength on the panel. But Ben, it's good to have you back. I'm glad you survived America, and John, I think you made some great points tonight. But anyways, I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm John.
And I'm Ben.
We'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye.
Always making great points.